Hello, I am so glad you can join me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Guys, today I am cooking a full course meal. I haven't done that in a little while. I've been making some sweets. So I decided, you know what? Let me just cook a meal today. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make some stewed chicken, some black eyed peas and rice, some mixed vegetables. I will probably dress the cucumber. As the old people would say, go dress the cucumber, right? We're gonna do that today. So let's get started. Stew first. Okay guys, here I have my chicken, and my chicken has already been marinated. Now if you haven't seen that before, I have a video up there that shows you how to make Bajan seasoning. Okay, so I made this yesterday. I marinated this yesterday. I made the seasoning, which is fresh herbs, parsley, celery, sweet pepper, bell pepper, what else I have in there, fresh thyme, onion, garlic, everything I put in there, and I grind it all up together, and then I marinated my chicken with that, and then I add my black pepper, salt, and whatever seasoning you like, all-purpose seasoning, whatever you want. I also add some tomato ketchup to that as well. So you can make your seasoning ahead of time and then marinate your chicken, put it down, and that gives it a really nice flavor. Okay, so that's how I marinated this chicken. So now let's go over to the stove, so I'll show you how I'm gonna make my stewed chicken. So to get started on making my stewed chicken, the first thing I'm going to add to that is some olive oil. I'm not measuring it, but I can average that's maybe about 2 or 3 tablespoons in there, and this all depends on how much you're doing. And to that I will add about a tablespoon of butter. Just lower my stove a little bit. You don't want your stove to be too high. You put it on medium. To that, I'm going to add some garlic. This is about 4 cloves of garlic in here, and just saute it. We gotta get those flavors out. It smells so good already, guys. Just that garlic. And then in here, I'm going to add some onion. This is just 1 whole chopped onion. Just 1 onion and just garlic. That's all that is in there. Just gonna add the chicken pieces in here. And this liquid, you can save this liquid later if you want to make gravy. And as you know, when you're cooking chicken usually springs its own water. So you're not gonna put too much liquid in there because it's gonna form its own liquid. But right now, I'm just gonna leave that and let that come and saute for a few minutes before we add anything else to it. So just leave that for a few minutes. Okay guys, so now while our chicken is on the stove, we leave that there for a few minutes to come to a boil. And while that is there, I will start with my black eyed peas. Now this is half a cup of black eyed peas, and this will be depends on how much you're gonna cook. Okay, I'm cooking 2 cups of rice, so I'm just gonna use half a cup of black eyed peas. I'm gonna go ahead and just wash my black eyed peas and just put them on with 4 cups of water, and then I'll be back to show you what I'm gonna do next. I'm drinking a little carrot juice here to boost the immune system this morning. Very good. I'm gonna, while my peas are on boiling and my chicken is on stewing, I'm gonna get my vegetables together, so you kind of get everything together so everything finished around the same time so you could eat. Okay, now I have a sweet potato here that I was going to put inside of my rice, because you know me, I like a little sweet potato in my rice. I had the potato for a while. I cut the potato is no good, so I have to put it in the garbage. So I'm gonna be making my rice today without a sweet potato. That's okay. But now I'm gonna get my vegetables started. So I'm gonna steam some cabbage and some carrots together. These are going to be my vegetables, and this is how I like to cut my cabbage. I just shred it like this. And this is how I do my whole cabbage. Okay guys, so this is my cabbage shredded. Just put it in here like this. It looks like a lot, but by the time it boils down, it's not really a lot. So this is my cabbage right here that I will be steaming. Let me cut this piece, right? And now for my carrots. This is what I do with my carrots. I just take my potato peeler and I just go like this. See how I slice it off? Like that. And I just do that. And when you're done, you take these pieces and you add it to your carrots, to your cabbage. Okay, so now I'm going to cut up the pepper. So in here I have the cabbage and the carrots. Now to that I'm just going to shred here some bell peppers and add to that as well. We got a couple seeds, but we don't need the seeds. And add this to that as well. And over here, oh by the way, I just cut my finger with that shredder. So when you're cutting, guys, just be careful. You get your fingers cut. That's a chef. A chef is always cutting up themselves or burning up themselves. I just cut my finger. Okay, so now with my onion, I'm going to just slice the onion like that. And then, you know, you just put your pieces in there. I'll do the same thing to the other one. My onions in there. Now, come over to the stove so I can show you how I'm gonna steam some cabbage and carrots. Over here, guys, is my chicken. As you see, I didn't add anything to it, and it has a lot of liquid in there, so I don't need to add any more liquid to this, because this is just about enough liquid that I need. If you need more, you can add more to it, but that's enough. I'm gonna add a couple more things to this, and I'll show you what I'm gonna add in a minute. But before I add anything to that, let's get our cabbage on and get started with our cabbage. So to the cabbage, I'm going to add another couple tablespoons of olive oil, and to that I'm going to add about a tablespoon of butter to that as well. And then I have my cabbage over here. It's a whole lot of cabbage. So what I'm gonna do now is add all this to this saucepan, okay? Seems like a lot, but as I said, when it boils down, it's not gonna be as much. And I'm going to put a little black pepper and salt. I'm not gonna add a lot of stuff to that. I'm gonna cover it and let it steam down for a little while. I think I need something bigger. I think I've got to get a bigger saucepan, because that one obviously is not going to work. Okay guys, I had to get a bigger saucepan. That smaller saucepan was not going to work. So this is all I'm going to leave it here for a few minutes. I'm going to cover this and just leave this like that, let that steam down. In the meantime, I'm going to add a couple things to this. Okay guys, so now let's get started on our chicken. Looks good. Now to that, I don't like that color. I want to give it a little bit of color. So I'm going to put some browning to that. So I'm going to put a little bit on my You just put a little bit at a time, and you can always add more if you think that maybe you need it a little bit darker, because if you put too much in, it may get too dark. So you know, it's up to you and how you like your color. So I'm gonna put a little more in because I want it to be a little bit darker. And this is my gravy here that I'm making. I want a little more gravy in there, I've decided. So you know the liquid that I had left back from the chicken earlier that I told you to save back. So you save that, and now I'm gonna add that to that as well. In here I have a bunch of stuff to add, so let me show you what I have. I have here 2 small tomatoes that I chopped up. This is a half of bell pepper that I chopped up. In here is 2 celeries that it was also diced up. And I have 2 carrots. I'm also using more carrots, even though I have carrots in there. I'm adding carrots to my gravy. And this is how I slice my carrots up. And I also have a couple small Irish potatoes that I just diced up. Okay? Because chicken doesn't take a long time to cook, so you cut your potatoes small so everything would cook quickly around the same time. And I'm just going to add all of that to here. Now I really don't need to add seasonings to this because it have a lot of flavor from the seasoning that I made. But when everything is all done, I will go ahead and taste it. And I think I'm going to put a little more browning in there just to make it a little bit darker. I think that's good. And when everything is all done, I will taste it to see if I need to add any salt or anything to it, okay? But right now, I think it's good, so I'm just going to leave that, let it boil down, and then I'll be right back. Guys, so now we have our cabbage on, we have our gravy is just boiling down, our stewed chicken. So now we have to put our rice in our peas. So let's go check our peas, see if the peas are cooked, and then let's add our rice to our peas. Let's go. Okay guys, so this is our peas here that I've been boiling. So I'm going to go ahead and test our peas. You don't want your peas to cook too soft because then it's going to be all smushed up in the rice. You really don't want to do that. So you see, the peas are cooked, they're firm, but they're cooked when I mash them, okay? So now let me go ahead and add my rice. This is my rice here. I've already washed it. So I'm going to add that in there. And I'm going to show you another way. If you don't measure, you don't have a measuring cup or something, I'm going to show you another way to know when you have enough water in your rice. So you see, like this, you know you definitely don't have enough water because that's going to boil out and you're going to need water, okay? So this is what you do. You need enough water just to come over and cover the top. Just to cover the top of the rice is what you're looking for. So this is covered, and when you're cooking this rice, you're going to cook it on a low heat. So far, I really haven't put anything in here. But we need to season our rice because we want a good tasting rice, right? So let me show you how I season my rice. Season up our rice. I'm going to put some butter in there. Probably about a tablespoon of butter is good. 2 tablespoons is good. This is just to flavor it. Now I also have an onion that is chopped up. I put that in there. This is some fresh thyme. I'm going to put that in there. I'll fish that out later, but I'll put it in there, stem and all for now. Here, earlier I just put some liquid from one of the bottles, but you know when you make your seasoning, Bajan seasoning, you're not just going to make a little bit, you made a lot. So I have like 2 bottlefuls. So this is from another bottle. This is the Bajan seasoning, and this is all the stuff that's in there. And I don't really need to put much more seasoning in there because this one has just about everything. Now the only thing I think I will put in here now is a little black pepper and salt. Just gonna sprinkle, guys, just sprinkle a little bit of black pepper. That's it. And I'm gonna sprinkle again a little bit of salt. I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and taste it to see if I need to add anything. It's just flavor, just trying to get a little flavor. That's it. Yep, don't need anything else. Perfect. Put the cover on this. My stove is low, and I'm just gonna let that stay and dry down, and I'll be back as soon as it's all done. Let's take a look at our cabbage. Woo. I see how it has shrunk. I told you it was full up to the top. Look at it right now. It has shrunk. So let's put some black pepper in here. And I'm going to sprinkle in some salt. And that's it, guys. I just stir this up a couple of times. And you don't need to add anything else to it. Oh, should get a bigger spoon. This spoon is too short. But guys, that's it. That's your cabbage right there. Chicken is looking good. Chicken is looking good. I'm gonna let it continue to boil down so the potatoes and the carrots can cook, and then that'll be done and everything will be done, and way to go. Okay guys, let's continue. Everything is on the stove, everything is boiling down and doing its thing. So the next thing we're gonna do is, currently old people in Barbados, let's dress a cucumber. That's what they say. I got a cucumber over there. I gotta go get dressed. I said, go dress that cucumber for me. So I'll show you how I'm gonna dress this cucumber. So I have 2 cucumbers here. I'm gonna go ahead and peel them. Now normally islands you can keep the skin on and just dress it with the skin on, but this I usually don't like to use the skin over here because these I wash very good, but you know, to spray all kind of stuff on the cucumbers, and sometimes the skin is be very hard, so I prefer to just peel it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and peel this, and then I will dress it for you. After I've peeled my 2 cucumbers, I'm gonna go ahead and you're gonna slice your cucumber as thinly as possible. Okay, as thin as you can get it sliced, you're gonna slice it. Or if you don't want to slice it by hand, you can just take your grater, this part of the grater, and just go ahead and just slice it that way too. That way you'll get it nice and thin, because sometimes you don't always get it thin when you're slicing it by hand, but you can do it this way. You see how thin it is? So you can also do this. And the end part like this, you can just throw that away. You don't need to use that. And here I have my cucumber. I'm going to put this cucumber in here for now. I will eventually transfer it back over here, but I just need to be tossing it around, and I don't want it all to end up on the counter. To dress our cucumber up, I'm going to start with some lemon. So I'm going to squeeze some lemon in here. I'm doing it over here so the seeds don't go inside the cucumber. I'm going to put a whole lemon in there. I'm going to mix it up in a few minutes. Let's squeeze a lemon in there. Now we're going to take some salt and we're going to sprinkle some salt in there. And I'm not going to tell you put a teaspoon of salt or put a tablespoon of salt, because you're going to taste it, and you can tell by your taste whether you have enough salt or not, okay? Or by the acidness of the lemon whether you have enough or not. You just have to taste it. So before I taste that, I have some parsley here, a little bit of parsley. I'm going to chop this up real quick, and I'm going to add the parsley to that. It's not a lot, it's just a little bit of parsley to help flavor it. And I'm going to add a piece of onion. I'm going to chop this up. So when you chop up your onion, you're going to add the onion to that as well. So now I'm going to mix that all up together. I'm going to mix this all up together, and then I'll taste it, and that will tell me whether I have enough lemon or salt, or whether you need to add some more. But you have to mix it up well first. If you have fresh pepper, habanero pepper, whatever kind of pepper, you can slice a piece of pepper too and add to this as well, okay? I'm not adding pepper to this one, but you can add to yours. Okay, so let me go ahead and taste a piece. So I'm tasting this just to see if it have enough lemon or if it have enough salt. It needs some more salt. So add a little more salt to that. And I think that's about good. I'm just going to taste another piece just to be sure. Good. So once you finish your cucumber like this, the next thing that we're going to add to that is an avocado. You want to mix that all up first before you add your avocado, because if you add your avocado, you stir it, this is going to become mush, and you don't want mush in there, okay? So now let me cut this avocado. That looks nice. And we take the skin off. Just peels right off. Well, almost peel right off. Okay. And then you just cut it in some small pieces like that, and you drop it in there, okay? And you drop it in. Now when you drop your avocado in like that, you just toss it a little bit, not too much, because as I said, you don't want mush. You toss it in, and that's it. And this is what the old people would say, a cucumber that's dressed. So now I'm going to set my dressed cucumber aside and go check my stove. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and check. We see our rice has dried down. Yep, looks good. Our rice looks good there. Okay, I can tell just by looking at it that the grains are cooked. So that's good right there. So that's my rice. Over here we have our stew chicken, and I can see that the potatoes are soft, the potatoes are cooked. So this is good. So now I have to taste this to see if I need to add anything to it before I turn the stove off. I didn't season this, I just had the marinated seasoning inside of it. So now I'm going to add a couple of things to it just to flavor up a little more, because it needs a little more flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of curry powder. This is my own little seasonings that I'm going to add. But you add your personal seasonings, whatever you have in your pantry that you like to flavor with is what you would add. I'm going to add a little more ketchup. That gives it a little more flavor. A little bit of salt. And that's it. I don't really want to add too much to it. I don't want to stir it up too much because the chicken is cooked. It's about done. I just want to make sure. So now let me taste it again for you. Now it's there. Now we're cooking. Now we are cooking. It tastes good now. Okay guys? I shouldn't say it tastes good now. It tastes better because I just add those few things. That's why you got to taste your saucepan to see what you need to add to it before you turn the stove off. So this is all done. So over here is my cabbage, which as you see has cooked down, and that is all done as well. Okay, so guys, so everything is all done. In here we have our stew chicken, which has some carrots and some potatoes, some vegetables in there. I have my cucumber, and over here is black-eyed peas and rice, and we have our mixed cabbage and carrots over here. And that's how you make your stewed chicken, black eyed peas and rice, and some vegetables. Okay, this is today's Sunday, so this is my Sunday dinner. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna taste everything for you. I have a plate over here and I have serving spoons and everything. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna start by taking a little bit of my rice, putting it over here, a little bit of rice, not gonna take a lot. Now I'm gonna take some of my stewed chicken and I'll put that on the side. And I like gravy on my rice. You guys like gravy on your rice? I love gravy on my rice. I don't just like to eat plain rice like that. So I take some of my gravy and I just pour it over the rice like that. Okay, just enough. Then over here, I'll take a little bit of cucumber. I love cucumber, my dressed up cucumber. There's avocados in here, but I don't eat avocado, so I'll just put that to the side. And I will take the cucumber here. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get some of our veggies. Gotta get your veggies. And I'll put that on this side. And this is my Sunday dinner. That looks yummy, doesn't it? Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and taste it for you. You see how easy it was to put together. Guys, when you're cooking, you just have to flavor it and taste it to your liking, okay? Because I may like a lot of salt, you may like a little bit of salt. I may like a certain seasoning, you may not like it. It's okay. Just add whatever you like and just taste it and make sure it tastes just right for you. So I'm gonna start by tasting my rice, my black eyed peas and rice. And you know, the only people I think of that makes black eyed peas and rice, and I'm not saying they're the only one, but Bajans, I grew up with my grandma making black eyed peas and rice. If you're from a different island, write me and let me know if you guys do black eyed peas and rice too. I know here in the South, they make black eyed peas, but it's usually served separate. It's not made in the rice, it's served on the side. So let me know how you serve it, okay? So, still hot. That's good. Now, take a piece of meat. I probably should take everything together. Piece of meat. And I'm going to put it with a little bit of rice. And maybe you can get a little bit of vegetables in there too. And then add a couple cucumbers. That is a good. Guys, this is a good healthy Sunday dinner. You have your chicken, your protein, you have your vegetables, you have your carrots, you have your potato, you have cabbage, you have cucumber, and you have some peas with some rice. Beautiful dinner. I hope you guys can go ahead and make some for yourself and for your family. I had fun doing this, and I hope you have fun making some as well. Don't forget to share, like the video, guys. You gotta give me some thumbs up the video. And if you have not subscribed to the video, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.